Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Thursday Shuffle. I am your host, MrBevers. That's right, we're back again with 8 random packs of Magic the Gathering's history. Last week we opened both of the modern packs, so I put up a poll last week for which pack we should add to the modern slot this week. And it was kind of a tricky one because we had to add 2 modern packs. So rather than doing 2 polls, I did 1 poll, and I decided I would pick the top 2 that got voted to be added to the pile. So we got New Phyrexia and Morningtide. New Phyrexia coming in with 54% of the vote, FYI. 54% of the vote. We had 137 votes at the time of me recording this, and 54% voted for New Phyrexia, 20% for Morningtide, and then the other packs also had a percentage. Legions and Corset both coming in at 7% apiece, lucky them, and Scars of Mirrodin coming in at 13%. So, we're going to open up 2 of these packs at random this week, and the way we do that is we shuffle these up. If you're unfamiliar with the series, welcome everybody. We shuffle up the packs like so they're kind of just like in a random order of stuff, like so. Then we get out our dice tray like this with our trusty D8. There's our trusty D8, and we roll it, and we go 3. Okay, so we're opening up the 3rd pack in the pile, and we're going to open up the bottom pack. Okay, so pack right off the bottom, and then 1, 2, 3. We're going to be opening up these 2 packs today. Can you guess what these are? I have a feeling we've got Shadows Over Innistrad and I want to say Conspiracy. Haha. Shadows Over Innistrad and Conspiracy. There it is. So we're going to put that off to the side there, like so. Let's get right into it. So, of course, we're going to have, next week, we'll have a poll for a Pioneer pack and a Supplement pack. So get ready for those polls. They'll be coming down the pipe. Maybe you would have already seen the poll by now, depending on how I did things. So we've got, of course, Shadows Over Innistrad, one of my favorite sets. I love Innistrad. I'm a big fan of like the gothic feel of things. So like, you know, vampires, werewolves, that kind of stuff. Always a big fan of that kind of aesthetic. I'm not a huge horror fan myself, but like just the aesthetic of how the art is and sort of the like I guess fantasy lore behind the creatures and stuff is really cool. I really enjoy it. So we've got an Inquisitor's Ox. We've got Just the Wind. We've got Cathar's Companion. We got Moldgraph's Scavenger. Hulking Devil. Thornhide Wolves. Big 4/5. This was a big problem to deal with in Limited, this Thornhide Wolves. Murderous Compulsion. Ember Eye Wolf, mainly because it blocked for days because it had 5 toughness. There was a lot of things that had 4 power, but not 5 power. Equestrian Skill. Stensia Masquerade as our first uncommon. Second uncommon is a Skeleton Key. Good old Skeleton Key. Then we've got a Call the Bloodline. This was a great card in this format because it let you discard cards, and so there was a lot of madness stuff that happened in this set. So it allowed you to have an outlet to discard your card for 1 mana to then cast it for its madness, but then you also get a vampire creature token with it. So like it essentially gave you a 2-for-1 with your card, right? Because like your card has a madness cost, which means you're casting it for cheaper most likely. And this gives you a discard outlet so you can actually discard the card to cast it for the cheaper cost, and you get a benefit from doing so. So like, sweet. And then our rare is a To the Slaughter, which is a nice little removal spell. This was like one of the premium removal spells in the format when it was around. Target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. So it was really good at getting rid of planeswalkers, right? And then it says, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, instead that player sacrifices a creature and a planeswalker. So you could really get people with this one. And the problem with it was that the creature is that most of the time you really had to make sure that they didn't have anything else on the board that you didn't want them to sacrifice instead, like, you know, 1/1 token. And there were a lot of tokens in this format. So like them having a 1/1 or a 2/2 that you didn't really care about and they get to sack it, well, this doesn't really do it for you. So it was more meant for like a planeswalker removal or a way to like thin out the board after the case. And then you've got a nice Hinterland Logger, which is our flip card, little 2/1 that flips into the 4/2 with Trample. So there you go. And then we got a nice little Swamp here. And, of course, a Vampire token. Vampire Knight token, I should say. So there you go. Not too shabby. And then Conspiracy. Take the Crown. So this was the second Conspiracy set, meant to be drafted in an 8-person draft, and then you play in 2 pods of 4. This was a multiplayer draft format where it was a free-for-all with 4 people in 1 pod. So it was interesting because it was like a multiplayer format, but draft. So it was very cool. Goblin Tunneler, if you never got to draft this, I highly recommend you try to get your hands on some of it, or maybe do it online through one of like the free draft apps, and then put it in through MTGO or something, like rent the cards for the deck you built or whatever. It's a lot of fun. Stromkirk Patrol, Mnemonic Wall, Fiery Fall, Reviving Dose, Unnerve, Divination, Twin Bolt, Lieutenants of the Guard, and then we're into our uncommons here. First uncommon is a Merfolk Sky Scout. Then we got an Overrun, good old Overrun. Can never have enough Overrun, right? And then a Keepsake Gorgon. This is a great little card from, I think it was Return to Ravnica block that this card was from. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was around there, right? Or maybe it was the first Theros block. I can't remember. Monstrosity, so Theros. Not Ravnica, Theros. This was the Theros block, the original Theros block. And Monstrosity was key there. And this was a 2/5 for 5 that you could pay 7 and maybe give it Monstrous 1, and then when it becomes monstrous, you just destroy target non-Gorgon creature that they control. And it's Death Touch. So, I mean, it becomes a 3/6 Death Toucher, which is pretty hard to deal with anyway. And then our rare is a Hedron Matrix, which is kind of a cool little rare. Equipped creature gets +X/+X, where X is its converted mana cost. So it gives a lot of boost. And then we got a nice foil Repulse here. All right, cool. And then, of course, you've got your Conspiracy card, which is a Summoner's Bond in this case. These were the cards that, like, when you draft them like certain ways. So, like, this is Double Agenda, which means you start the game with this Conspiracy face down in the command zone, and secretly name 2 different cards. You may turn this Conspiracy face up at any time to reveal the chosen names. Whenever you cast a creature spell with one of the chosen names, you may search your library for a creature card with the other chosen name, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So it's kind of an interesting little way to, like, manipulate the game from the very beginning, right? And then we got a nice little goblin token there. Very cool. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. This has been a Thursday Shuffle. I've been your host, MrBevers, and as always, may your pulls ever be better.